Colorado just might not be the right fit for you. And these are the reasons why. Let's get started. Hi there, Christy Lee here, and I am a local real estate agent in the state of Colorado. If you are new to my channel, all of my videos are catered to my most favorite places to live, to visit, all things Colorado. So if that's something that interests you, please click that subscribe button right there. That way you are notified every time I have a new video. Now, as much as I love making these videos, I love helping you more. So my contact information is right there. Please reach out to me anytime. I am the one that answers those phone calls and text messages, and I would love to help. All right, so as much as I personally love Colorado, I am a native of Colorado. I've been here my whole life. There are plenty of reasons on why it may not be a good fit for you. So, I've been racking my brain and figuring out why people tend to move out of Colorado, or maybe even comment on the fact that they don't like it. And there are 4 reasons which I found, and that's just based off of personal friends and family that have told me who are pretty much done with Colorado. The number 1 reason that I find that most people are moving out or are tired of Colorado is the weather, which I actually find to be extremely ironic, because I personally stay in Colorado because of the weather, but then other people just think that we're too cold, which I think is strange because, perfect example, yesterday was 98 degrees. 98 degrees in September. Today is 60. So that's huge, drastic change. And I get it, like 60 is cold, I suppose, but 98 sucks. In my opinion, it's like, it was so hot. It was brutal. So for the people who say that they're moving out of Colorado because it's too cold, I actually have to call their bluff, because while we are cold, there are days, obviously, we do have winters out here. It is cold. The sun is always shining, so it never feels as cold as it might be. Hypothetically, if it's like 35 or 40 degrees outside, the sun is still shining. It's not brutally like in your bones like you'll find in maybe Chicago or Michigan. It's not like that. The sun is shining, everything is happy, the snow is melting. So to me, it's not that bad. And what's also great is that as soon as you're tired of it, it switches again anyway. So there's plenty of times during the summer during the winter time that you will have snow, of course, but then all of a sudden it's going to be 55 or 60 degrees in the middle of January. So you never really know. It's very bipolar. But if you're absolutely someone who just loves having sunny, warm days like Southern California or Florida for that matter, and you're used to having that all the time, then maybe Colorado just isn't going to be a good fit for you, because we do get cold. We do get cold, but then we get brutally hot too, like 100 degrees where it's just horrible. The great thing about that though is that we don't have humidity. So, you don't have to, worry about how that feels like in Texas or, the East Coast where it's just like 100, but with humidity, we don't have that here. It's just hot. It's just super, super hot. So another reason that I find that a lot of people are moving out of Colorado, or maybe one of the biggest complaints that I hear other than being cold, is going to be it's expensive. It's expensive to live here. Now, I find that to be very relative on to where you're either coming from or where you're moving to. But on average, our house prices in Colorado, median house prices are going to be right around $650-ish. So, obviously, yes, I do know that's going to be more expensive than other places in the United States. However, that is going to be significantly less than others. So it really is relative to where you're moving to or moving from. Gas obviously is going to be expensive no matter where you're at in the country. So I can't really say that gas is going to be any more expensive here than anywhere else. Food might be a little bit more expensive, like groceries or eating out. That does tend to be maybe a little bit more expensive, but nothing like maybe New York or LA. But yeah, it is going to be more expensive, but we are on average, we get paid more out here as well. So, I feel like overall, it's all relative to where you're moving to. So, you know, people are saying that they want to move out of Colorado because, you know, the housing prices are too expensive. Okay, and I absolutely get that, you know, but if you move somewhere else that's going to be less expensive, what are the taxes looking like? People tend to move to Texas because the housing prices are less, but your property taxes are more. So you do have to do your research, obviously, and figure out if that's really the case, if it actually makes sense. Granted, obviously, everybody's in their own situations when they're living out here or anywhere else, so definitely do your own research on that. But that is going to be a complaint when moving out here, and definitely a sticker shock. So if you're coming from somewhere else that obviously is less expensive and trying to come out here and have a price point of, say, $500,000, that's going to look probably drastically different than what you're used to at $500,000 somewhere else. So, you know, I get it. We are expensive, but you know, relatively speaking, depending on where you're coming from, of course. Another reason why Colorado might not be the place for you, and a reason people tend to be moving out, is going to be we have a lot of traffic. Again, kind of going back to being expensive, I feel like that's relatively speaking, so I kind of call people's bluff on that when they tell me that, because you know, we have traffic. Don't get me wrong. I-25 corridor, I mean, it used to be not bad at all, especially on the north side. Now it's horrific. There's so much construction going on up there. There's so many people moving up in that way. So yeah, we're obviously going to have a lot more traffic. Down near the Denver area and heading south towards, you know, Highlands Ranch and Parker and Castle Rock. Those are going to be, it's going to be very, very, you know, compact with traffic, especially during rush hour. I mean, that's just the way it is. I-70, it's just, yeah, it is. But if you're coming from, say, New York or LA, I keep on hearing people being like, well, your traffic is like nothing. And I'm like, so yeah, I mean, it's if you've lived here your whole life, you notice that there's a lot more traffic going on. But if you're new to Colorado, this might be easy peasy, not even a problem for you. So I guess it's just going to depend on what type of lifestyle you're looking for. If you're looking for something that's going to be a little bit more peaceful, more open spaces, Colorado does have that. We absolutely do have that. You're just going to be looking at different areas other than the Denver metro area, of course. You're going to look more, maybe more east, where it's not as developed yet. But we are growing. So at some point, I'm sure it will be developed at some point. But right now, you know, there are definitely places that you could still get into that aren't as compact. You don't have a lot of traffic. But yeah, I mean, that's why some people just hate Colorado, is because of all the traffic, you know, just the people. There's a lot of people moving here. And I personally think this is a great thing. Other people hate me for saying that because, you know, people are moving here and I love it. Other people hate it, so they move. So, I mean, I totally get it. The final thing I will say about Colorado and what might make you not want to move is that if you're a foodie, our food scene here just, it's not good. I mean, it's okay. I mean, we do have some really, really nice, cool restaurants down in Denver and Boulder. They really are popping up really everywhere. But we don't have, you know, the great food scene that other cities have around the nation. And so, I mean, yeah, it kind of sucks. We don't really have anything that we're known for, except for, I guess, Rocky Mountain oysters, which I have never had and never plan on having. But, you know, we're just kind of not really known for that kind of stuff. We're known for being outside and outdoorsy and hiking and skiing and all that stuff. But the food is just not there, and it really never has been there. It might be there at some point, but if you're planning on moving here and being all hip into the food scene, we just kind of, it's lacking. Honestly, it's just lacking. But overall, those are the top, I would say, 4 things that maybe Colorado is just not the right fit for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer them. Reach out to me anytime. And then to the next video, take care.